Hey guys, welcome to the Big Arm Gun Review. I'm Mike Riley, and this here is Nick Dahlberg. So we're going to take a look at a gun I think we've both been really anxious to get our hands on, and a gun the whole gun world is a Twitter about, and that is this bad boy right here, the HUDSON 9. So if you're not familiar with it, how this gun came about was that in 1911 went to a party and got super drunk and met kind of a chunky Glock, and anyways, one thing led to another, and we ended up with the HUDSON 9. So
that's how it happened.
Yeah. Tell me what you thought of it, Nick.
Well, we shot this gun a decent amount. I mean, what did we put through this now? Like 300, 400, 500 rounds. I mean, it's
you and I put that many through, and then the owners put about another 1,000 rounds through.
The more I shot it, the more I liked it. I think you'd probably say the same thing. We kind of took it out for a second session, and you know, everybody's talking about the fact that it's a flat shooting gun. Right, the whole idea is the recoil's assembly is up here, and you can get really, really high on this gun, really high in the bore axis. It shoots flat. It shoots really flat. We shot just factory ammo. It felt really good. Felt really flat. The sights tracked back and forth. And then we also shot some gamer loads, right? Some of my loads through it, and then it really shined. Obviously, it was super soft shooting. So it's doing, I think, what they market it to do at that point. It's a really soft shooting gun. Feels comfortable. Accuracy wise, I always like to kind of test out the accuracy. I didn't have any sort of problem keeping things at a slow pace in the head box of an IPSC target at 25 yards with this. Just kind of taking my time. The sights seemed to be dead on. So yeah, it was a really comfortable gun. You know, the first thing I think that a lot of people talk about is when you pick up this gun right away, it just feels awesome.
Yeah, it does. It just sinks right into your hand. It really is something.
Yeah, it feels awesome at first when you pick it up. So it's definitely got sort of that 1911 feel to it. Grip panels are cool. There's already companies coming out with aftermarket grip panels for this. It's not compatible with 1911 grips, but you do have big companies like VZ Grips making grips for this. So if you want something a little less aggressive, a little more aggressive, this might kind of be considered like medium to more aggressive, I think, for a lot of people. But really kind of nice checkering on the front strap, back strap. It's double stacked, right? So we get 15 rounds. It would have been cool to maybe squeeze a couple more in there, but 15 is still pretty good. And yeah, it shoots really, really nice. It's really flat. It's kind of a different recoil impulse, I like to say, right? The way that it kind of comes back in your hand, especially if you're shooting like hot factory loads, it feels a little bit harsh right through the center of your hand. Whereas normally, I think that'd be interpreted as kind of flipping a little bit more with a normal gun. So I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do, and I think it feels good. I don't know if it's necessarily completely living up to the hype, right?
Well, and it would be hard to completely live up to the hype. I mean, so here's the thing is, and you think about it, if you were the child of a Glock in 1911, or you'd have a lot to live up to, right? I mean, yeah, or you're going to disappoint some people because you're not as good as either of your parents. I love the gun in the way that it shoots, in the way that it feels. Now, it's a little awkward because you have all the weight in the front of the gun here. And as far as it being flat shooting, if you hung a pound of weight off the front of any gun, it'd be like a CZ. It's like, wow, it's really flat shooting. Well, okay, the gun weighs 37 pounds, so it's flat shooting. Exactly. So I don't know if that's really a miracle in the making. So I'm of two minds. I like Glocks, and I love 1911s. So there's things about the gun I'm really excited about and that I really like. I think the gun is innovative. I think there'll be other guns like it that make use of this that probably improve on it a little bit.
Sure.
In some sense, I worry that it's a Boberg, right? In that it's a gun that, it's a pretty good gun, but it's overpriced, and it won't create a market following fast enough for the company to survive. Now keep in mind, it took them 5 years to get the design, and then another 2 years to really launch it, and the gun is still, rarer than unicorns out in the wild. So that's a problem for me. Is this company going to be around in 2 years? They've already announced a different model that has the polymer frame, which I think they're giving into both the price point, and they're also giving into a lot of complaints that it doesn't need to be 2 pounds. I love the gun, but I'm very cautious about it. I love that it represents this very innovative new way of thinking. If the gun was a Glock and had this trigger, I would love it. I would be out of this world. But this is a $1,300 1911. So that puts it flat even with a Dan Wesson Heritage. So if I bought a Dan Wesson Heritage and brought it home and this was the trigger it had on, it'd be going back to Dan Wesson. So there's pros and cons. If you like guns that are different and you want something that's on the more innovative side, this really is it. I mean, there's not a lot of new that comes out in the gun world, right?
Yeah.
This is new. This is something different. I like the idea if I hang a light on it, it'll actually cover my hand.
Yeah.
Right? So you do look at it, and those things are a little bit wonky, a little bit different. It does really well. Now, the owner of this gun actually shot this in a steel competition and took first place. So his first place finish is with this gun. So
entirely because of the gun.
Entirely because of the gun. Entirely because of the gun. But what's funny is I think that Hudson actually has the making of making a really, really good competition gun.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's 3/4 of the way to being a gamer gun already, right? And because it's heavy, you can put now you can throw an optic along it and,
it'll be
and do
interesting.
whatever you want, right?
Again, they're hard to find, right? So I mean, who knows how many they have out there, right? I have no idea if it's being considered for production division or something. I know that there are companies that are milling the slides out on these, like you would mill a slide out from the Glock, right, and put a red dot. That gets me really interested in it.
And it's a good sign when you're looking at a gun like this if other companies are kind of rallying to it. So like VZ making grips for it, and right now I know there's a couple different companies that'll be coming out with holsters. There's just not enough of them out there. So the real question is, can Hudson create this gun at a lower price point to make it a little more palatable? I'm just saying $1,300. I don't know if it's bring it down to about $1,000, and I think you got yourself. If I'm comparing this directly head to head with a Springfield 1911 or a lot of the Kimber models, I'll take this gun over, right? I mean, I like it enough to say that.
But I don't know if that gun in a polymer frame interests me at all.
I don't know if it necessarily interests me, but that would be a price point where you'd want to see it more in that $700. $700 range. And the truth is, gun companies are going to have to come up with a reality, and this is going to be the conflict of gun companies and gun owners, and it kind of is embodied right here. We're going to see fewer guns sold over the course of the next 3 to 6 years. Gun companies are going to have to fight for their lives. When things start getting scarce like that, innovative guns tend to either become the market standard, but that happens very rarely, right? So it's really going to have to be a super special diamond, or they're going to die. And a lot of innovation dies during these periods of downswings. And so it'll be interesting to see where this goes. As somebody who just likes the business side of firearms as well, I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued by the company. I've got to meet Cy and interview him and talk to him, and his wife is really instrumental in the development of the gun as well. So it's really cool, and I love the story. I love the gun. I would love to have one. I'll definitely have one, but being able to sell guns to guys like me and you will not keep you in business. There's not enough of us, right? So I really like the gun. I recommend it. Is it going to be somebody's first gun? I don't know. I think you kind of have to be sort of a gun geek to appreciate it, too.
Probably, I think that's where they're going to sell it.
So low recoil, flat shooting, very innovative. The Hudson 9. Let's
see over time.
I'd love to be sitting around 20 years talking about their Gen 4. All right, thanks.